Well, hello again, fellow golfers, and welcome back to Simplifying Your Golf Game. I'm PGA Director of Instruction Jimmy Flippin Jr. here at the Waterfront Country Club near Smith Mountain Lake in Moneta, Virginia. As a kid, I used to love looking at Golf Digest, particularly when they had the pullouts and would show some of the various professionals swing kind of in a sequential order from address all the way to follow through. And one of the things that really fascinated me was how the professionals looked at address versus how they looked at impact. Now, a lot of times I've heard in the past where you start in a position at impact and you want to return to that position. Well, ironically, looking at those professionals, they didn't look like at impact like they did at address. So it got me to thinking, well, what if we worked on a drill that actually got our body very much acquainted with and understanding how we should be at impact? Now, in the snap of a finger, we're in that position as we're making our golf swing. But as far as the start is concerned, let's dive into what I call the impact drill. So, what I'm going to actually do is I am going to go ahead, I've got an 8-iron in my hand, and take my normal setup over the ball. Okay. Now, before I take my swing, I'm going to twist my hips and basically push my right knee forward, so it's almost in line with the ball. Now, from this position, I also like to call or refer to what I call the golden connection, and that is my nose over my right knee. Now, if I maintain that position, I'm always going to stay behind the golf ball. My head will never get in front of the ball because, quite frankly, my knee never gets in front of the ball. Also, from here, I've got some weight on my right foot. I've actually got maybe about 30%, maybe even 35%. So I'm 65 on the left, about 35 on my right. I've also am pushing my hands more forward. So what you can literally see is I look kind of like a parentheses, uh, almost like an open or closed parentheses, so that I'm kind of bowed towards my target. Now I want to make a swing from from this position, but I'm going to step out of it for a second. What I want to emphasize is this is not about creating. We're not trying to hit the ball hard out of this. We're literally just trying to make enough of a backswing to feel like, okay, I'm loaded. And then we let our lower body, so as I'm here, I go back. I just want my left hip to make that little move kind of back towards my heel to send me the rest of the way through the swing. And all this is just, again, getting our body acquainted with where we really should be at impact, especially if we're using an iron. Uh, Over the years, one of my first swing coaches who introduced me to this drill, he basically said I wouldn't use more than a 7-iron to do this because you're not making a big swing, and this is more about really uh, nailing down a position in your swing that you're in for about the snap of a finger. The other thing he also said was I wouldn't hit a whole lot of balls at one time in this position because what'll end up happening is you go to set up at the golf course over a shot. Next thing you know, you're like this. You're like, whoopsie, I need to get back to here. So what I would recommend in that regard is, say, a ratio of 3-to-1. Hit 3 balls in the drill, hit a ball out of the drill. And then ultimately what you want to do is flip that ratio so you maybe hit 1 in and then 3 out. So let me go ahead and fire one for you. So again, I'm taking my normal stance first. Okay. Now, twist the hips, pull that knee kind of over the ball. Hands are a little bit more forward. I'm kind of tilted slightly back with my upper body, and I'm just going to make kind of an upper body swing. It's not going to be very big, and then I'm going to let my hips pull me through. The end result will be a shot that's very driven, and it's not going to go a long ways, or at least you don't think it's going to go a long ways. You actually might be surprised how far it actually does go. So the next time you're practicing, really try this drill. Get really are you feeling like, again, you're taking a snapshot of what you would look like if somebody were filming you in your swing. To try to get here, very small little backswing, and then fire it through. As always, stay tuned to the channel. Like and subscribe to it. That way you can keep up with more amazing tips and insights. And I'll see you again very soon. Happy swinging, fellow golfers.